have to say, don't Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Guru. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We'll start with Mangalatran. Look alive, please. Look alive. Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
O my Lord, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhakti bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental sounds, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Hare Krishna. A bit chaotic this morning, especially because I underestimated how long it's going to take me to get to the temple, and but I got here in time, so that's all that matters. In the process of leaving my place in a hurry, I also forgot my laptop, which had notes in it. But I'm just hoping that I can recall at least some of it by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And also, when I started reading the verses that we are to cover, 10, 15, 20 to 27, I see that it's just the Gopas, asking Krishna and Balaram to go to the Talavan forest and defeat Dhenukasur, right? There's nothing much going on. They don't even begin going to the forest, and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to talk about? But whatever things I was able to retain and realize, I will try to share that. So I was giving you dialogue so you could pull it up.
I was looking at it here, I was like, okay, maybe you can also see it better. I just lost.
Yes, for me.
It's 20. Once, some of the cowherd boys, Sridama, the very close friend of Rama and Krishna, along with Subal, Stoka Krishna, and other loving spoke the following words.
The cowherd boys, O Rama, Rama, mighty armed one, O Krishna, destroyer of the miscreants. Not far from here is a very great forest filled with rows of palm trees.
In that Talavan forest, many fruits are falling from the trees, and many are already lying on the ground. But all the fruits are being guarded by the evil Dhenuka.
O Rama, O Krishna, Denika is most powerful demon and has assumed the form of an ass. He is surrounded by many friends who have assumed a similar shape and who are just as powerful as he.
The demon Dhenuka has eaten men alive, and therefore all people and animals are terrified of going to the Tal forest. O killer of the enemy, even the birds are afraid to fly there.
O Krishna,
No.
Oh, sorry. In the Tala forest are sweet-smelling fruits no one has ever tasted. Indeed, even now we can smell the fragrance of the Tala fruits spreading all about.
Text 26. O Krishna, please get those fruits for us. Our minds are so attracted to the dear program. Our desire to have these fruits is very great. If you think it's a good idea, let's go to the garden. Stop first.
Hearing the words of their dear companions, Krishna and Balarama laughed and, desiring to please them, set off for the Talwana surrounded by their cowherd boyfriends.
Okay, we're reading the verse 27. Evam suhridvacha shrutva suhrid priya chikirshaya rahasya jagmatur gopair vrito talavanam prabhu.
Evam suridvacha shrutva
Suhrid priya chikirshaya Prahasya jagmatur gopair
Pratyutalvanam Prabhu.
Vrato talamanam prabhu.
Evam
Evam suridvacha
suradvacha shrutva
shrutva
Surat Priya Chikrisya
Suhrid priya chikirshaya
Rahasya Jagmatur Gope.
Prahasya jagmatur gopair
Vrito Talavanam Prabhu.
Evam suhridvacha shrutva
Surit Priya Chikirshaya.
Suhrid priya chikirshaya Prahasya jagmatur gopair Vrito talavanam prabhu. Evam suhridvacha shrutva Suhrid priya chikirshaya Prahasya jagmatur gopair Vrito talavanam prabhu. Very well. Word to word all together. Evam, thus, Suhrid of their friends, Vachaha, the words, Shrutva, hearing, Suhrid to their friends, Priya, pleasure, Chikirshaya, desiring to give, Prahasya, laughing, Jagmatuh, the two of them went, Gopai, by the cowherd boys, Vritau, surrounded, Talavanam, to the Tala forest, Prabhu, the two lords. Translation altogether. Hearing the words of their deep friend, Krishna and Balaram laughed, and desiring to please them, set off to the Talavan, surrounded by their cowherd boyfriends.
You already got the chance to. I was born first.
Lord Krishna, listen to the message or representative. Lord Krishna was thinking, how can a mere ass be so formidable? And thus he smiled at the petition of his boyfriend. As stated by Lord Kapila in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter 28, verse 32. Hasam Hare Avantakhila Lokatriva Shokashru Sang
Sagara
Vishnusnam Adi
Udaram.
The smile and laughter of the Supreme Lord Hari is most magnanimous. Indeed, for those who bow down to the Lord, his smile and laughter dry up the ocean of tears caused by the intense suffering of this world. Thus, to encourage their boyfriends, Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram smiled, laughed, and immediately set out with them to the Tal forest.
Very well. Okay, so as I said, it's dialogues between the Gopas and Krishna and Balaram. So it starts with saying that, some of the cowherd boys, they lovingly spoke the following words, right? And lovingly, like prema, is very important to understand, especially because the cowherd boys, they are friends of Krishna. And friendships we have amongst ourselves also, but there always comes a time when we're unhappy with our friends. When we're unhappy with our bestest of friends, and Amala Harnam Prabhu, forgive me. Also, what to speak about just friendship? Every other relationships that we have, there's potential for them to be soured at least some point in our lives, right? But but the friendship relationship that the Gopas have with Krishna is the truest form of friendship that exists. It's the highest, it's the perfection of friendship, right? And so whatever they ask of Krishna, it's out of love. It's not out of demands, and that is something that we'll also talk about in the future verses. But yeah, another thing that is written in the purport by Srila Prabhupada is that the Gopas, they were talking about the Talavan forest, right? But it's not like they themselves wanted to just enjoy the fruits of the forest. But they said, they asked Krishna and Balaram to go kill Dhenukasur so that, there's a way for Krishna and Balaram to do their Leela, basically. Because imagine if Krishna was just born and Krishna started like killing demons here and there without any harm caused by the demons, and demons are just existing, right? And Krishna's like going out and killing them. It'll be so unfair to the demons, because demons have a right to exist, believe it or not. Everyone has a will to a will and a right to live. And also in Srimad Bhagavatam, there's numerous times where demons, they claim that, oh, Krishna is unjust, he's unfair, because he's always taking the sides of the demigods. But that is not true, because Krishna cannot be partial. And so for the demons to be killed and for the Leela to happen, it is very important that someone set the stage. Someone set things right, for the Leela to happen. And so the cowherd boys, they were like, today seems very normal. And because Krishna is always killing demons left and right every single day, why not give them another task? And so they make this request. In the text 21, it says, they're praying to Lord Balaram, oh mighty armed one, and they're telling Krishna, destroyer of the miscreants, not far from here is a very great forest filled with rows of palm trees. And in the purport, it is written that not far from western side of Mathura, like the distance of around 2 yojanas, which is around 16 miles, was what? Was Govardhan. Haribol! And it was very difficult to attain, right? And it is also stated that just 1 yojan away, which is 8 miles, was this Talavan forest. So Talavan was like almost roughly in the middle of Govardhan and where the cowherd boys were, right? So it appears that it's located midway, and the Talavana forest is described as follows. The land there is even, smooth, and very expansive. So it's like a big piece of land, very smooth, very nice looking. There's a special kind of grass. There's no stones or pebbles. So it's ideal, a place that Krishna would love. And so another reason why the Gopas said we should go there. In text 22, it is said the Talvan forest has many fruits falling from the trees. And when trees have flowers and they get fruits, and the fruits get very ripe, the branches cannot hold its weight, and so the fruits fall, right? And there's a very nice analogy, and also because we're trying to distribute Chaitanya Charitamritas, and the very name of the campaign is what? Be a gardener, right? What does it mean to be a gardener? I was recently listening to a lecture where I happened to hear about it, and it is said that until the trees bear flowers and until they bear fruits and the fruits ripe, it is very difficult to tell what the taste of fruit might be, right? But so, and being a gardener, it means that when you receive the Bhakti Lata seed, the seed of devotion, you can't have the seed by, like, it cannot manifest by itself. It has to manifest by the mercy of the Lord and through his devotees who are also in parampara. And just like you cannot have seeds without fruits and fruits without seeds, it's as confusing as that, but it's transcendently confusing in that sense. So when you get a seed, you sow the seed, and you have to nurture the seed very nicely, and nurture the seed with what in this sense? Because it's the seed of devotion. What do you nurture it with?
Chanting,
Hearing and chanting, right there. So you nurture it with hearing and chanting, but as soon as you water the seed, does it grow into a big tree and start giving fruits? No. It always takes a lot of time and nurturing and care for the seed to develop into a little plantling, sapling. I forgot the word. Thank you. And then grow and grow and grow until it bears fruits, and then you can eat the fruits. So hearing and chanting, when we start hearing and chanting, we think, I've been hearing and chanting for this amount of time, X amount of years. Why is it that I'm not seeing any kind of changes in the love that I feel for Krishna? Why do I not feel closer to Krishna? It is because we forget that for millions and millions of lifetimes we've been away from Krishna, and because of the rough land that we have not taken care of because we disregarded it, the land, the soil needs to be fertile. So first, when we start hearing and chanting, we create the kind of atmosphere for ourselves to be able to desire any kind of love for Krishna or desire to develop any kind of relationship with Krishna. And when we keep hearing and chanting, one day the seed will develop into a plant. And when it does, what happens? It bears fruits, right? After flowers come fruits. And it is said that when a big tree bears fruits, there's a lot of them. If you try to eat fruits, how many can you eat? For example, what kind of tree would you like it to be? What kind of fruits would you like? Mango? She went for the topmost. Mango? Imagine there's a mango tree, a big, wide mango tree, and it's bearing fruits. How many mangoes can you eat in one sitting?
10.
Do your best.
5.
5, 10. How many? How many do you think you can eat?
Depends on the size also.
Medium size. I don't know what to say.
Which type of mango they got?
Okay, I think we're going off topic. But my point of saying is that you can eat some of the fruits of the plants that you grew by the help of devotees and your devotion. But how many can you eat? And if you don't eat fruits when they're ripe, what will happen? They will go to waste, basically. I don't want to say it will go bad because devotion never goes bad. But you harvest mangoes to a point that there's no way you or your family can eat or your friends can eat, so you have to give it to the general public, and you'll be like, please take it. And that's how we distribute books, You read, you be a gardener, you cultivate your Krishna consciousness in a way that it bears fruits. And when it bears fruits, there will come a time, like for me, book distribution feels very forced, for the lack of better words. And it is because my tree hasn't matured yet, right? But if you see Narada Muni, for example, or Srila Prabhupada, Krishna. Just a couple examples, but their trees, their tree has given such immense, amount of fruits that they can't help but they feel like they want to distribute it. So because they have tasted the fruits and they know how sweet the fruits are, they want everyone to be able to taste the sweetness of the fruits of the holy name. And so they distribute it. And even though book distribution might feel a bit forced at the start, but if we keep going by the mercy of the Lord and his devotees, we will be able to experience the joy that is to be felt when distributing the knowledge. That's one thing. Also, Venukasur, right? We're talking about Dhenukasur. And although this is not the analogy that I heard anywhere, but this is what came to me when I was reading it, that in one of the translations, the Gopas also mentioned that, look how sweet the fruits might be. I can smell it from here, right? And thank you. Very informative. So you can now imagine the trees and the fruits. More immersive, I guess. But the point is that the analogy of Dhenukasur and the Talavan forest. The forest was publicly available, but no one could go there. Why? Because Dhenukasur was guarding it, right? Now, the fruits that are in the forest can be also seen as the rasa of the truest, the purest devotion that exists, the fruits of love and devotion. And the forest is publicly available, which also means that the fruit of devotion, or the tastiest fruit that is to exist, can be accessed by all, right? It is publicly available. Everyone knows its location. But what happens? Dhenukasur is guarding it. Dhenukasur can be also seen as false ego. For example, all of our anarthas, the fruit of pure devotion exists, and we know where it is, right? When you smell it, you can't see the fruit, but you smell it like the Gopas were smelling it. It also means that before bhakti happens, you can almost smell it. Like in our initial days, a lot of us has felt this, that I don't know much about Krishna, but I can't help but wanting to go see him. I don't understand why I'm so attracted to Krishna. I don't understand why I'm so, I feel like I'm being pulled in, that I have no option. It is an indication that bhakti is about to blossom in your life. And so you can smell the fruit, right? You can smell the fruit, but when you go to get the fruit, you're quite unable to reach it. Why? Because there's so many things in between. There's your ego, my ego also. There's the ego, there's illusion, and there's thinking that I'm the greatest, and all the other anarthas that one can think of, lust, greed, pride, and whatnot. Right? All of that is Dhenukasur, and it stands between our way of getting to the fruits. And so, yeah, I think this is a nice analogy that we could think of. And yeah, so I was also reading like one of the purports, and it said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead and what the Gopas were thinking, that Krishna has already killed terrible demons like Bakasur and Agasur. What is so special about this obnoxious jackass named Dhenuka, who has become the public enemy #1 of Vrindavan? When I read this, I was stunned. Because where else do you get to see such words in Srimad Bhagavatam? But it's like Dhenukasur was an ass demon, right? And asses by nature, they're very unfortunate. Because when they were born, they signed up for work without, like, labor without love, basically, right? Because they're always used to carry things, carry people, and they're never given a lot of love, because we don't even consider them likable in many senses. But you know what else an ass is? He's also very stubborn. Because he's in ignorance, and he doesn't understand that he also has rights, that if he protests, he doesn't have to carry all this, he doesn't have to do all this labor. But the point is to say that all of our anarthas, or everything that stands between us and attaining that pure bhakti, everything that exists in between, all of our anarthas, they're very stubborn also. So what did the Gopas do? The Gopas, if we can think of we can put ourselves in their shoes in this analogy, right? That we're trying to approach the forest, but we can't, because our anarthas are guarding it, and we can't attain the fruit. although we're nowhere near compared to the Gopas, because the Gopas were very self-realized and they were, well, the Gopas, they were an association of Krishna. What else can be said? But the point is that the Gopas didn't go try to get the fruits by themselves. They didn't try to defeat Denakasur by themselves. What did they do? They asked Krishna and Balaram, can you please kill these demons? Can you please eliminate this demon also, so that we can finally get to the forest and attain the fruits of the palm trees in the sense. But when our anarthas are standing between us and pure devotion, we must not think that by doing this I can overcome it, by doing that I can overcome it. The methods that exist are good, they're tools, but without surrendering to the Lord, it is very difficult and it takes very long, because even yogis are able to get themselves to the platform of what? Liberation, realization to some extent. They can achieve a lot of knowledge and a lot of everything, but they have to do a lot of austerity also, and also then the results are not guaranteed. But we have to, because we know of this process, of this path, we have to be smart like the Gopas. We have to invite Krishna and Balaram, and we just have to surrender to them and let them take care of our Dinakasurs, right? So that was also something that I wanted to share. Is it funny? Is there something anyone would like to add by the time I see what I have to say next, because I forgot? Anyone? Vishesh Prabhu.
Thank you for this analogy. Very, very well connected. I would like to share a similar analogy that I think I've shared with you before about mango trees. Is that the Indian mango farmers have the wisdom that when the plants are growing and the trees are still somewhat small, they are flowering, they don't let them fruit. They cut off the flowers and let the trees grow to the full extent, and then they let them fruit. Because if the somewhat shorter trees or plants will fruit, then they will only produce fruits for a few years and then die because of the weight of the fruit. But if you let them grow to the full potential, and then when it fruits, it will keep giving fruits for years and decades and decades. So we can learn from it also that, and at this age, we should not be in a rush to live, in a rush to eat the fruits of our results and actions. It's the time to grow. It's the time, to become taller, and then eventually everything will be longer lasting.
Yes, and also we're advised not to think about the fruits. Krishna just says that. Well, this is not exactly related to that, but it's also that people also say, the happiness is in the process and not the achievement itself, because the process itself is more enjoyable than what you feel after you achieve something, which in this case is not true, because when you do achieve pure devotion, well, I don't know what to say, experience it for yourself. So, but yeah, that's a very nice analogy, that when you start walking on this path of devotional service, trying to attain pure love, do not be sad when you feel like some of the fruits that you gained were lost just like that, and they disappeared like they never existed, but I worked really hard for them. What about it? So then you just have to understand that those fruits were not beneficial for you. I do not remember where I've read this, but in the prayer to the Lord, a devotee was saying, like in Srimad Bhagavatam itself, that Lord, if you so desire, give me the fruits that I pray for, but only if they're good for me, only if they're beneficial to me attaining you and love for you. Only then do you satisfy this desire of mine. And so we can also take inspiration from the devotees, that pray like this, that even though we're on this path where we understand that we're mature, I'm speaking for myself, and we still have desires, because we still have to live in this material world. I desire to graduate. God. And so I do wish Krishna helps me with this desire, because I don't know what I'll do without it. But it's like when you pray to Krishna, you tell him, Lord, I have this desire, and I think it is crucial for me for this to happen, in order for me to come to the platform of being able to serve you better, of being able to have more resources, to be able to think of you more. And even so, if your desire, and if this is beneficial for me, please grant me this desire. And that is the correct way to pray. Because the Gopas, even after saying all that, they were thinking of like, yeah, we can't get the fruits. The Vrindavan Vasis are also like bereft of the taste of this fruit. But they also did mention that only if you desire, only if you see it fit, should you go kill this Dhenukasur, right? So we can have the fruits. And it shows how surrendered the Gopas were to Krishna. And we're fortunate to be able to read about the pastimes in such detail, because I was given a few verses and I'm like, okay. And then I read it and it's just dialogue. And I'm like, okay, all of this was recorded just like that? Like, I can't imagine, all this happened Lord knows when, how many thousands and thousands and millions of years ago. Maybe it doesn't happen 5,000 years ago, but you know what I mean. It's like so what I mean is that all this intimate details, all the thinking of the Gopas and how the Gopas felt and what their intentions were, and everything is very nicely conserved, very nicely presented, and very nicely passed down, right? All of this happened years and years ago, and if Srimad Bhagavatam in its book form didn't exist, we would be unable to tap into this knowledge, right? And so it's like, I was on the bus when I realized that I forgot my laptop, and I was like, what am I gonna do? So I opened my phone, right, and I started going through Vedabase again. And I'm like, it is kind of funny that this knowledge, which is very old and very important, powerful, and very valuable, is available to me, who's on the train, on my phone. And just like that, I can be anywhere in the world and I can have access to this knowledge, right? This is like the best the world has to give with the technology, right? Like, so it's like, instead of, and it is all there for us to read, right? And I personally, when I started reading Srimad Bhagavatam a few months ago, I was thinking, I'm starting with Canto 1, and how many cantos exist? We understand. So 12 cantos exist, right? And so I am currently on Canto 3, and I'm like, it's taken me so long, what am I going to do? And I don't even think that I absorbed everything from Canto 1, because when I see references of Canto 1, I'm like, when did this happen? I have to go back. And I'm like, oh. and it's like, my memory is so bad that I can't retain 0.1% of what is in Srimad Bhagavatam. So what is the benefit of me reading Srimad Bhagavatam? I was thinking. And then I remembered the example of the basket, the straw basket, I forgot who the characters were in the story that we're taught, but I know that there was a person who had a very dirty basket, right? And they wanted to fill the basket of water. Or their guru asked them to fill the basket of water. And so they go to the Ganges and they try to fill the water and they try to bring it for their guru, but all the water drains from the basket. It doesn't stay because it's a straw basket. And so the guru, the disciple goes to the guru and he's like, or she's like, well, I don't know, And so guru's like, go back and try again. So the disciple keeps trying, and defeated, they tell their guru that I don't know what to do anymore. I can't fill the water. And he's like, at least it's clean now, because it was very dirty. So, yes, Prabhu.
I think just to help you with that story, the first question is, she goes to the guru and is like, I'm in these classes every day, but I can't seem to retain anything. And so then he sends her to the river to keep cleaning her basket. And it's like, that's like in a class, even if we didn't retain anything, we're still getting purified.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much for that. Yes, I was also trying to get at the point that then I was reminded of the story, and I realized that even if I can't retain any of it, at least I'm hoping that I can realize it, or hope for it to purify my intentions and my heart at least, so that I'm able to better retain it in my next life, hopefully. and also I was thinking of it, about this, that everything that is to be understood is available. Knowledge is not far away. Knowledge about Krishna and how to attain pure love, it's not far away. It's right here. But when you look at Srimad Bhagavatam, all the books, it looks so daunting. Will I be able to read it at least once in my life? And I was wondering, even if I do read it, will I be able to retain anything in this life? And just Bhagavad Gita, reading Bhagavad Gita and understanding Bhagavad Gita is like a big task. It takes months. And then to read Srimad Bhagavatam, what about Chaitanya Charitamrita? When am I going to read it? And then I heard from this devotee, and they said that you just, like Srila Prabhupada, he worked really hard, very, very hard, to translate all the literature, to give his purports and his mood. The purports are his mood, because that's how we understand Srila Prabhupada. So all you can do is read with the same intensity or excitement that Srila Prabhupada felt when he was translating this literature. All you can do is do that and hope for the best, because you just have to think that Srila Prabhupada worked so hard. I can just put the same amount of effort into reading his books, and that's all I can do. That's all that is in my hands. And when you do that, the Lord also reciprocates, and Srila Prabhupada reciprocates. So everything that we need is here. And instead of trying to intellectually understand or try to, scientifically with proofs and with why am I blanking? With proofs, trying to get to the same result by ourselves, doing all the searching and scrolling on Instagram, trying to attain knowledge, which is very important, I promise. Very important. Instead of doing that, maybe we can scroll a little on Vedabase also. I'm saying this for myself. Because this is all there is that matters, and when we realize that it helps us find time to read the scriptures, because I also find myself often complaining that I just don't have time to read the 5 pages that I said I will, maybe I'll read one. But then I realized that in your endeavors, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be perfect in your intention. And when you have that perfect, strong determination and intention to read Srila Prabhupada's books, to try and walk this path of bhakti, Lord cannot help but reciprocate, right? And I was thinking that we can't even count how many living entities exist on this earth alone. I'm not talking about people, because we have, and even that number is not accurate, but it's like the number of souls on this planet Earth by itself, right? We cannot imagine. And what to speak about all the other innumerable universes and all the living entities that exist. Actually, my brain would malfunction to think about or try to calculate. But what I was trying to say is, even when millions and billions of souls exist, Lord has the capability to be personal with everyone, right? And I discovered it for myself, because as I was talking about it in my last class, that the Lord is right here. Although he's very far away, doesn't seem attainable, but when you have the purest of intentions, if you carry the purest of intentions in whatever endeavors you're making, then the Lord is not far away. You can have him besides you at your wish and will, because the Lord reciprocates to his devotees like that. And that's all from my side. Questions and comments? Yes.
First of all, it was a beautiful last session. I really like the analogy that you gave. I never thought of it like that.
Me neither. I was so shocked.
Yeah. So we can see how it's coming from Krishna, like Mat Tasmiti Gyanam Prabhu. So I was thinking, like, if you say that like Krishna's friends, they depended on Krishna for him to defeat Denkasur, right? So we should depend on Krishna to overcome our anarthas. So my question is, like, then what is the point of us doing our sadhana, working so hard to fight our anarthas, working on a particular anartha, like if I'm recognizing that I have this, then I'll do something about it, right?
Can you put it in one sentence?
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So
Short and
what is the need for us to work on our anarthas if we have to depend on Krishna? According to Gary.
I mean, you have to do your part, right? You do your due diligence in all matters, as I was told. And it is very important that you show Krishna how bad you want it, right? Unless, like, I wanted to get really nice marks on my final exam, for example, but I just think of getting very nice marks. I don't actually put any effort in, What can the Lord do on the day of exam, when I ask the Lord, please give me knowledge to write this exam and ace it? And he's like, well, there's nothing in the inventory, Like, you read things and, I would prepare for my exams and I would think that I read so-and-so, but then I forget on the day of the exam, right? But then somehow, magically, it appears sometimes. And so it's like, if there's nothing in the inventory and if you don't have any intention to actually do it, it's like, don't demand Krishna to do all the work for you. Like, put in some of your work, and I understand why you asked that question. But it's like, until you show how bad you want it, Krishna won't understand. Like, he will understand. But it's like, if you're not showing how bad you want it, then you don't want it that bad, right? If you don't want your anarthas to go away bad enough, then they will stay. Because, they just stay. It's like, how the landlords have particular rules about tenants. I recently read about it because I had to sign an agreement, and it said that you cannot invite someone over for more than a week, because once they do, it's like he has to get all, like, the government and everything, like, he has to get, like, the legal teams involved in order to get that person out, because he's staying there for so long and he has the right to live there now. So you have to prove that they don't have the right to live in order for them to leave or to make them go away. And so our anarthas, they've stayed with us for so long that we're practically roommates. Like, we have a lot of roommates. And so it's like, we can't just ask them to leave just like that. We have to get that legal order, that notice, that government notice, get out. And who can give that? Krishna and Balaram, they can give us that. And so it is important that we show our intention and our heart to the Lord, and then he will help us. Put your efforts, do your due diligence, do your part, and then you can expect reciprocation. I hope. If someone has to add anything to that, yes.
So maybe depending on Krishna alone can do it to truly depend on him.
Oh,
like
yes.
Gopal did. Like, we in the morning were reading Shikshashtikam, I don't desire a beautiful woman, but by the evening are you not? So do we really purely depend on Krishna? If
That's
we
true.
can, maybe then it will happen. But then we don't, so we have to put in the effort.
Yeah. In that sense, our what we feel towards Krishna right now, it's like very fleeting in a sense, although I don't want to use that term because I wouldn't want to. But it's like you have to it comes very few times, the pure desire to be able to be with Krishna or to feel anything for Krishna. It comes very rarely. And because we haven't perfected ourselves in that sense, or haven't come to the full realization of a relationship with Krishna, when that is there, it's like, yes, you can't fully depend on the Lord because you're also in ignorance somehow. And so it is important to state our intentions through our efforts. But if you actually truly depend on Krishna, yes, he will take care of your desires before you even put it out. That's true. Thank you. Yes.
I was thinking that like doing our sadhana is and doing our sadhana and whatever we do, chanting and stuff, it helps us to build that relationship with Krishna. Because why would anybody do the dirty work if you don't have any relationship with them? You know, it's like if I'm sick and I have a friend who like is taking care of me, then because I have a relationship with them, right? But otherwise he can just sanction whatever you need provide, like he can assign servants and stuff. But there has to be a relationship, so that sadhana and everything helps to build that relationship.
Yes. And, in the purport of the last verse that we read, it is said that the smile and laughter of the Supreme Lord Hari is most magnanimous. Indeed, for those who bow down to the Lord, his smile and laughter dry up the oceans of tears caused by the intense suffering of this world. And the Gopas could hear Krishna smile, see Krishna smile and hear him laugh, right? And also in Srimad Bhagavatam 1-17, the verse goes, Shrunvatam Svakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantasto Hyapradrani Vidunti. Anyone? Vidunoti Suhrit Satam. Right? It is said that hearing about the Supreme Lord cleanses the desire of material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. The very first line in the purport says, messages of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, are non-different from him, which means that reading about him, laughing, is as good as hearing him laugh. Although we're nowhere near where Gopas are, or how exalted they are, but just reading about that is as good as hearing Krishna laugh himself, and that is also a beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam. So yes, I don't know why I said that. Sorry.
Because you're right, because that means like both things are needed.
Yes, both things are needed. Thank you very much. Yes, that's true. Anyone else? Amala Harinam Prabhu, please say a few lines.
I was just focusing on the question, on the analogy which you were giving, and then further you were saying. I just heard something similar yesterday from Maharaj.
I said a few lines, please. Yes.
So, if we only think of getting the fruits, then we are thinking for ourselves, not for Krishna. And it should be to serve Krishna, while chanting to serve Krishna.
Yes. Yes. Even the Gopas weren't desiring the fruits for themselves. They were hoping that if Krishna kills Dhenukasur, all the Vrindavan Vasis can have the fruits. And so when we desire something, desire the fruits of something, we're desiring it for ourselves. But that is only proven false when we think of book distribution. Because if we're thinking, oh Lord, I wish that everyone can enjoy the fruits, and I also want to enjoy the fruits, then the Lord is like, okay, I'll give you some knowledge so that you can spread it also, So in that sense, yes, thank you very much. Ishan Prabhu, you had something?
It was similar to this. It's
Oh, Haribol.
He took my-
Anyone else?
No one has something to say, so I'll share a little personal story about this fruit. When I was living in the south of India, it's called Nung. Do you know? Yeah.
We also got in Tajbola. It's a very watery fruit. It's very refreshing.
So when I moved there, I was watching reels about this fruit, and I was like, I have to get it. So
At that time also this was
sorry.
At that time this was
Oh, I've had this fruit! Oh my god!
It's a very nice fruit.
It's close to coastal region, so you should have had it. Very rare, but they don't grow there. It's called ice apple.
Oh yes, and they're very rarely sweet,
No, there are sweet.
No, from where I had, they were.
Yeah, it's
They
a
make
water.
they make
Yeah, it's a water.
from the leaf.
A drink.
Yeah.
But the story is just that. That for a year, I kept looking for it, I didn't find it. But when I found it, I was so happy, and when I ate it, I was like, this is it? Like, it wasn't even that tasty.
Because it's not transcendental, Prabhu. If you were with the Gopas, you would have enjoyed a lot.
But
So,
I think you
so
have tasted it. But in life,
I've also heard that, you know,
Yeah, make the point.
last point. You cannot be, you cannot, like, never mind, honestly, never mind. I'll tell you later.